Philadelphia Eagles are heading into a pivotal divisional matchup against the New York Giants, and the storylines are stacking up fast. Thursday's practice brought more questions than answers, especially surrounding star wide receiver A.J. Brown. For the second straight day, Brown was absent from the field. That's not something you can just gloss over, especially when you consider his importance to the Eagles' offense. Reports earlier in the week suggested he was still expected to suit up, but here's the thing. Throughout this entire season, only one Eagles player has missed both the Wednesday and Thursday practices and still managed to play that weekend. That guy? Tanner McKee, back in Week 2, and even then, he was listed as the emergency quarterback, essentially the break glass in case of disaster option. So when you look at AJ's status, you have to wonder how serious this hamstring issue might actually be. And hamstring injuries aren't new territory for A.J. Brown. The guy is built like a superhero, big, strong, explosive, but his history with soft tissue issues is real. He missed a chunk of training camp because of it earlier this year, and that wasn't just precautionary. That was managing a lingering concern. He also missed time last season with the same type of injury. These aren't fluke incidents, they're patterns. And when it comes to an athlete like Brown, who relies so much on explosiveness and sudden cuts, any discomfort in the hamstring could mean a real setback if he's rushed back too soon. Now, think about the timing of this. The Eagles play the Giants this Sunday, then head into their bye week. That opens the door to a strategic rest opportunity. If AJ sits out against New York, he gets that extra cushion to recover. 2 full weeks before Philadelphia returns to face Green Bay. And that Packers game? It's not just another date on the calendar. That could be the difference between home field advantage in the playoffs or having to go on the road in January. You better believe the Eagles are considering the long game here, especially with such a physically demanding player like AJ. Still, let's not pretend this upcoming matchup isn't important. The last time these two teams met, the Eagles got worked. It wasn't just a loss, it was a total meltdown. They got bullied, beaten, and outcoached in just about every aspect of the game. That's not something you forget, especially when it comes from a divisional rival. The Eagles can't afford to drop both games to the Giants this season. It's not just about standings, it's about pride, tone setting, and keeping control of their postseason fate. Now, let's talk about the silver lining. In the loss to the Giants, the offense looked lost. But against Minnesota last week, completely different story. They came alive in a way we haven't seen all year. Jalen Hurts was dealing. The passing game clicked. And yes, AJ was a huge part of that. 4 catches, 121 yards, 2 touchdowns. It was his best outing of the season. Minnesota came into that game with one of the best passing defenses in the league, and the Eagles torched them. They finally looked like the offense everyone expected coming into the season. If that version of this team sticks around, the Eagles can beat anyone, anywhere. But again, that performance had A.J. Brown in the lineup. If he's not available, it forces this offense into a different gear. So what happens if Brown can't go? Enter Devonta Smith. Quietly, Smith is putting together a monster season. He's already over 500 receiving yards and showing every bit of the route-running mastery that made him a first-round pick. If Brown is out, Smith steps into the number 1 role. He's capable, there's no question. But beyond him, the depth starts to get shaky. Jahan Dotson would get a bump in targets, but after that, you're looking at guys like Darius Cooper, whose practice window just opened. Cooper has shown promise, but is still coming off a shoulder injury. He's no sure thing. There's also the possibility of pulling someone from the practice squad. Britton Covey is a name to watch there, someone who knows the system and can be serviceable in a pinch. But again, there's a reason he's not in the active rotation on game days. And look, this isn't just about talent. The numbers don't lie. When A.J. Brown is not in the lineup, the Eagles' offensive production takes a serious hit. We're talking about significant drops in total yards and points per game. It's not just a matter of plugging someone else in and hoping for the best. The offense functions differently when Brown isn't on the field. Cam Jurgens is another name on the injury report that can't be overlooked. He also didn't practice on Thursday, which is a red flag for a line that's already had some continuity issues. With Jurgens sidelined, Brett Toth has been getting first-team reps at center. And look, no disrespect to Toth, but there's some serious concern there. His anchor hasn't been great, he gets moved off his spot too often, and snapping issues have plagued him in the past. That's not exactly the profile you want for a guy about to go up against one of the best defensive lines in the league. If it were up to me, I'd give Drew Kindle a real shot. Over 30 career starts at Boston College, team captain, NFL pedigree. His father played in the league. In training camp and preseason, he showed promise. Agile, technically sound, and more physical at the point of attack than Toth. You need someone with presence inside, especially against a Giants front that's aggressive and disruptive. If Toth does start, he's going to be on a very short leash. 1 or 2 blown protections could force the Eagles to make a change mid-game. Jurgen's absence is also unfortunate because of the momentum he was building. Against Minnesota, before the injury, he was finding his rhythm, especially when pulling out in space. That's where he's at his best, moving laterally, getting ahead of the play, creating lanes. But when he's asked to just snap the ball and hold his ground, that back surgery from the offseason still seems to be limiting his power and balance. Now he's dealing with a knee problem, and you start to wonder if this season is going to be one of those uphill battles for him from start to finish. On the flip side, it's not just Philly dealing with injuries. The Giants have some notable names missing from Thursday's session. Cornerback Paulson Adebo, edge rusher Brian Burns, and safety Jevon Holland are among those who didn't suit up. Those are key starters. If they're unavailable, that shifts the dynamics of Sunday's matchup in a big way. For all the talk about what the Eagles might be missing, the Giants could be facing similar depth issues. But let's shift gears to something that might actually give Eagles fans some optimism. The offensive adjustments made last week. Jalen Hurts under center. That one change might have been the spark the Eagles needed. It opened up play action. It made the offense less predictable. And it gave Hurts the kind of structure that allows his arm talent to shine. Against the Vikings, they called 4 play action passes from under center. For throws. For completions. 121 yards and a touchdown. That includes the 79-yard bomb to Devonta Smith. What's more important than the stat line is what that setup allowed the offense to do. By getting Hurts under center, the defense couldn't just tee off on shotgun reads. The linemen got better angles. The running game had more variety. And Hurts himself looked more comfortable going through progressions with space and structure. This isn't a small tweak. It could be the identity shift this offense has been missing. Early in the season, the offense felt stale, predictable. Now, there's a sense that something is clicking. Maybe it's not fully polished yet, but it feels closer to the 2022 version of this group that steamrolled its way into the Super Bowl. Even from the lineman's perspective, the feedback has been positive. Jordan Mailata made a point about how going under center changes blocking angles and forces defensive ends to play more honest. That stuff matters. These are the details casual fans might overlook, but within the trenches, those little shifts make a massive difference. If defenders can't predict where the play is going based on the quarterback's positioning, the offense gains a split-second advantage. And sometimes that's all you need to break a big run or buy time for a deep shot. And speaking of the run game, it's been one of the biggest disappointments this year for Philadelphia. After dominating on the ground last season, they've dropped off significantly. Whether it's the scheme, the personnel, or the execution, something hasn't been right. But maybe, just maybe, this under center adjustment is the key to unlocking that again. Saquon Barkley even mentioned that he sees the field better when running from under center. He gets a better view, more space, and better timing with his blockers. That's not nothing. When your running back feels more comfortable and your offensive line prefers those alignments, it's time to lean in. And let's not forget, even in shotgun, the Eagles can still find success if they use the right concepts. Inside tosses, same side counters, duo runs. These are things that have worked for them in the past, but haven't been utilized enough this year. A more balanced mix of shotgun and under-center plays could be what finally gets this offense back to its explosive roots. This isn't panic mode. This is mid-season football in the NFL. Teams adjust. Players get banged up. Coaches have to find answers on the fly. What matters is whether or not the Eagles can learn from the early struggles, build off last week's success, and weather the storm if they're missing one of their top weapons this weekend. Now let's dig deeper into what all this means moving forward. not just for this week's game, but for the rest of the season. If the Eagles truly found something with Hurts under center, they've got to commit to it, not just sprinkle it in here and there. That shift alone made the offense look dramatically more dynamic, unpredictable, and balanced. And balance is key, especially for a team that's looking to make a deep playoff run. You can't just rely on shot plays or quarterback scrambles. You've got to be able to win in different ways, and lining up under center opens up more of the playbook. The timing, the rhythm, the angles, it all changes for the better. And with a quarterback like Jalen Hurts, who has shown growth as a passer every single year, giving him a structure that plays to those strengths could be the final piece to getting this unit back to its 2022 form. The coaching staff deserves some credit here. Kevin Patullo took the initiative and made the call, but only after Hurts brought it up. That's big. It shows maturity from Hurts and an evolving dynamic between quarterback and staff. When the player recognizes something that could work and the coaches listen, it's a sign of a healthy football culture. Too many teams stick with what's not working just to be stubborn. The Eagles have been willing to adapt. It paid off against Minnesota in a major way. The challenge now is consistency. Can they make this a regular part of their offense, not just a wrinkle to throw defenses off for a week or two? One thing to remember is that this kind of shift doesn't just help the passing game. It also takes pressure off the offensive line. When defenders don't know what's coming, they can't pin their ears back. That half-second hesitation makes all the difference in protection. It helps the tackles set their blocks, it helps the guards seal lanes, and it gives the center a more manageable job in terms of identifying blitzes and making calls. And for a team dealing with injuries on the interior line, that's huge. If Jurgens is still not 100% and Toth has to step in, reducing predictability becomes even more important. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our Philadelphia Eagles. And don't be shy. Share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. The Philadelphia Eagles may have just made one of the most intriguing moves of the offseason, and the NFL rumor mill is already buzzing. Sources close to the team suggest that TETAIRŌA McMILLAN, the electrifying wide receiver prospect, has signed a 4-year deal with the Eagles. While the official announcement has yet to come, insiders claim that McMillan's decision could mark a turning point for a franchise that has been quietly reshaping its roster with a mix of youth and strategic star power. McMillan, known for his blazing speed and uncanny route-running ability, has been on the radar of several NFL teams, but Philadelphia appears to have swooped in with an offer that the young star couldn't refuse. The move signals a clear intent from the Eagles to bolster an already dynamic offense, potentially pairing McMillan with key figures in the receiving corps to create one of the league's most versatile passing attacks. Analysts are speculating that his addition could give the Eagles the edge in a highly competitive NFC East, where every yard and every matchup counts. The rumor has sparked intense debate among fans and commentators alike. Some see this as a bold, calculated risk, betting on McMillan's raw talent and ability to adapt quickly to the professional game. Others wonder if the rookie will be able to handle the pressure of joining a team with high expectations and a passionate fan base. The Eagles' front office, known for its aggressive strategies in the draft and free agency, seems to believe that McMillan can become a cornerstone of the offense for years to come. Social media is already ablaze with speculation. Jerseys bearing McMillan's name are trending, and highlight reels from his college career are circulating widely. While nothing is set in stone until the team confirms, the buzz alone has energized a fan base hungry for the next big thing. Whether he turns into the franchise-changing talent Philadelphia hopes for, or simply adds depth to an already strong roster, one thing is clear. TETAIRŌA McMILLAN has everyone talking, and the rumor mill shows no signs of slowing down. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Philadelphia Eagles, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.